Hi everyone, Speedway Tag here. I want to show you Topiary, which is a game designed by Danny Devine, who's famous in our household because of his designing of Sprawlopolis and Agropolis and Naturopolis and all of those series games from the Button Shy Wallet series. But he's done a wonderful tile laying game here with a very interesting, unique theme of Topiary. And it's a couple of years old now, but it's a fantastic little simple relaxing tile laying game. As you can see, the theme is you own a garden with all these great grass sculptures in the garden, and you are sending visitors into your garden and trying to give them a better viewing experience than your opponents are. It's basically a tile laying game. It's 2 to 4 players. In the middle of a 2-player game here at the moment. There's a lovely scorecard. These are the meeples. Okay, very unique, as you can see, looking meeples at 8 of each kind. And so basically the way this game goes, you set up a 5x5 grid of the tiles, and the middle tile is flipped over, and everything else starts face down. Each player gets 3 in their hand, and as you can see what these tiles look like, they're numbered, and there's 5 of each sculpture. So there's 5 of the geese, 5 of the elephants, 5 of these pointy prism type things, 5 of the whales, looks great, and the little puff balls there. Okay, so there's 5 of each, numbered 1 to 5. Numbers are very significant, obviously, the way a turn goes. And so this game has been already going, so I'll just show you how you play a turn. All you do is you take one of your meeples and you place it somewhere around the edge of the grid. These are the visitors coming into your garden, and you're trying to give them a good view of everything that you spent all your time trying to sculpture. So let's say it's green player's turn. Wonderful wheelchair meeple here. You take your meeple and you place it at the end of a row of a column, so either there, so that's facing down this row. Here it's facing up that column. Here it would be facing down this column, and you can even do diagonals. So if I placed it here, and you got to be very careful that you line up your meeples so it's clear that which direction they're facing, and that takes in that diagonal row. Okay, so columns, rows, and even the diagonal line of sights, and that's what these are called, sight lines. And as you can see, some of the meeples have already been placed already. This green meeple is his sight line is along that column. Same with this blue meeple, it's that column. This blue meeple's line of sight is this line of diagonal. And that green meeple line of sight is going that way, and so on. So I'm going to place a meeple. That's obligatory. So why don't I place this meeple? Why don't I place this meeple here? Oh no, let's place this meeple on the side here. Okay. So the line of sight I'm setting him up for is across here. Now, after you place a meeple, you have an optional action is to actually take a face down tile from the row and put it into your hand, and then take one of the tiles from your hand, even including the one that you just took, and place it back into the empty space. So I might take I don't know, I might take this tile, have a look at it. Okay, it's a number 1 goose, and I might place something in there. I might place you know what, I think maybe not the goose is I might place the 3 goose here. Okay, and then it's back to the blue player. Take their meeple, find a line of sight somewhere that's not taken up, because you can't both be having the same line of sight. You can be on the opposite. So for example, while this blue meeple line of sight is going this way, I could place that there, and so that one would go that way. Let's try a diagonal line of sight here, and I think I might go here with the intention of scoring points along that line of sight. So that's the blue player's turn. Then once again, the green player would take a meeple, place it in a line of sight, replace a tile if they want. See the blue player, that one I placed just there, he's allowed to take one of these 3 tiles in the line of sight if he wants and replace it. And you know what, I forgot to do that, he might take this and place his 5 elephant there. Now, why are you placing certain tiles and what are you actually trying to do with your tile placement? Well, it's all based on the scoring conditions. For example, let's at the end of the game, and that comes once all the meeples have been placed, okay? And at the end of the game, when you score, you're scoring lines of sight, and you get points. For example, let's say if I scored this line of sight going across there, that green meeple, okay? You will get points for every ascending sculpture, okay? So at the moment, 2, okay, so the tile that is face down is 0. The 2 is higher than 0, so he can see this in the garden. The 3 is higher than the 2, so he'll be able to also see this. The 5 is higher than the 3, so he'll also be able to see this. But the 4 is lower than the 5, so he won't see the T-Rex sculpture, which is a real shame, right? So can you see, you only score the ascending values. Even if this was a 5, you still wouldn't see it because it would be blocked by this, okay? So the exactly the same numbers, one of them won't score. So it has to be ascending. So you'd get 2, 3, 5, that's 10 points for that row. What would this person get, okay? This meeple there, I'll get that out of the way, that's looking down here, okay? 1, 3 is higher than 1, 5 is higher than 3, but 5 is the same as 5. So he won't score this 5, but he'll score the 1, 3, and 5 because they are getting larger, okay? And thematically is because when he's standing here in the garden, he can actually see all those 3 because each one is higher than the other. Now, if I had a meeple sitting here in this line of sight, and he's looking down the garden, he sees a 5, which he will see, but he won't see this 3 because 3 is lower than 5. So you see how that works? Really cool little unique mechanic there. You'll also get an extra points if you've got the same kind of sculpture viewable in your line of sight. Okay, so have a look at this green meeple here. His line of sight goes up here. Okay, he can see the 4. The 5 is higher than the 4, so he can see the 5. So we get 4 plus 5, 9 points. But he'll also get a point for each similar sculpture. They're both T-Rexes, so he'll get 1, 2, another 2 points. Okay, and I don't see that happen. Oh yes, see you've got 2 whales along here. So the blue player scoring this line of sight would get 2, 5, so that's 7, and then 1 each for the 2 whales because they're the same kind of sculpture. Okay, so those are that's a nice another layer to your strategy in getting tiles where you want them to get or where you want them to go. Okay, you're trying to, like this, you're trying to get the numbers going higher if you can, but you're also at the same time trying to get similar structures in the line of sight, which is really good. And so look, the other reasons why you would place meeples and put face-up tiles in there is, okay, so if I'm looking at my blue line of sight here, and I want to get a couple of more face-up tiles in that line of sight, obviously I can't place another meeple here and start flipping them. I'd have to get the face-down tiles in his line of sight. I'd have to access them from other angles. So if I, for example, if blue came and placed this line of sight here, okay, he could flip, he could take that tile and put something in there to benefit this guy's line of sight. So you're thinking angles as well, okay? So let's say, I think it's the green player's turn. So the green player would like to get a couple of more face-up tiles here in this guy's line, okay? So he might just do something like this, All right, place it there and take this tile, which is one. Oh, look at this. So this is perfect. He'll place that one there. So now he's got a nice ascending order, and they're also the same sculpture, so extra points. But he's also flipped a tile for this guy's line of sight, which fits because 1 is lower than 4, so that'll score as well. This keeps going until all the meeples are placed, and then you go through each meeple and score their line of sight, just like I've explained. The artwork on these tiles, they're linen finished tiles, the quality is great, artwork is fantastic, the idea of this is great. I love the strategy of using the different angles to open up new tiles in certain lines of sight. It can get a little bit take-thatty if you see a person like this. For example, look at this green player has got a nice line of 2, 3, and 5 here, but if the blue player manages to put a 4 here or a 3, that blocks out some of these. Okay, so you can start hate placing tiles to ruin your opponent's lines of sight. That's all right. You know, that's part of the game. Some people don't like that. When we play 2 players most of the time, we're so concentrating on our own plans that we don't really have time to hate place. So you can totally play this game without take that element. But if you like to take that element, it's there for you to use as well. The last way to score is at the end of the game, you'll score the points on the tiles in your hand. If those sculptures, a higher number of it, so a 5 elephant or a 2 to 5 goose or a 2 to 5 little round thing, right? If one of these is in the board and is visible to one of your meeples. So if one of my meeples can see a 5 elephant, which it can see, this green can see a 5 elephant at the moment, so I will score this 4 elephant. If one of my meeples can see a goose higher than 2, you'll score this 1 point for this goose, and so on. So this is an absolutely gorgeous game. It's very cute. It's light, but it's got enough strategy to keep you really interested and keep you coming back for more. I hope you enjoyed that. Topiary.